Hello everyone, in today's video I want to talk about this fairly simple fly, or simple fly, but more importantly I want to talk about some materials that I recently bought, and I would like to kind of promote small business here, and it's Magpie materials. I got just a couple of materials from Magpie, and I have to say that with those that I've tried already, I'm very pleased with, and the price is pretty okay. I got them here in China, so if I can get them in China, you people all over US can get them anywhere you want, I guess. So I got some biots, and they are famous for their biots, and I can say that this is probably one of the best biots I've ever used. This is brown drake color that I'm going to use. It has such a beautiful markings to it, and that's something that brought me here. The only material that I'm going to use that's not from Magpie are hook and the ice UV dubbing. And ice UV is here just to kind of make a hotspot here. That's it. The Hackle is something really nice and beautiful. It's relatively long feather, as you can see. It's a hand hackle, and it's rice form hackle. So I got the whole cape. Now let's get straight into tying with their thread. 110 denier, and it's super thin for the thickness that it says here, so that's something different. So it was unexpected, to be honest. I was expecting that I will tie maybe even a streamer or so with 110, but it's impossible. Okay, debarb the hook in the vise. I'm using wet fly hook here, so you can use any kind of wet fly hook that you want. And I will start by just covering the whole body except for the head part with the thread. And you will see that this thread lays perfectly flat. The only downside to this thread is that it frays relatively easily, but in the defense of this thread, I can say that recently the weather here where I live is super dry, so my hands are full of these hard corners. Anyway, let's go to the biot part. Biot has different lengths to it, so some pieces of biot, like tip portion and bottom portion, will be shorter, as you can see, so applications would be probably tails for stonefly patterns, but the middle golden portion would be very suitable for tying dries, nymphs, wets, whatever. So just take one of them and peel it off so you can get this little foot. It's easier to use. Your hackle pliers will grab onto it very easily. As any biot, all of them, they have this ridged side and translucent side to it. I like to tie translucent side to the bottom, counter spin the bobbin holder here, and then I'll just catch it. I'm not catching it by the very tip, but I'm pretty near to it. And then I'll just go with flat thread and cover almost the rest of the body, leaving the room for the thorax area, because we need thorax here. Now, keep your favorite hackle pliers. I love Mattarelli. It's expensive, but it holds like a bulldog, or should I say Stafford or Pitbull, whatever. Anyway, make a first rep less tight than all the others. You can put some super glue under, that I almost forgot. Super glue helps with durability. For that purpose I always use Loctite gel. It's just easier to use. Loctite gel, you can squeeze the bottle, and it is very accurate how much you can take out. Just squeeze slowly, don't squeeze abruptly. And then take a really tiny little drop. Spread it only on one side of the hook, no need to spread it all around the shank. And then as you wrap, you will actually push the super glue over the hook and spread it all around, and that's it. The magic happens now. As you can see, it has like darker and lighter color to the biot here, and that's the most beautiful part of it. Now sometimes I just go and cut it lengthwise, as you know, but sometimes I don't do it. It just depends, usually on my mood or the size of the fly, because when the size of the fly is smaller, I just cut it and make it more narrow and easier to wrap. I made videos about it, like turkey biot trick, so you can go there and check it out if you want. And then with flat thread, cover this part. It's important to use flat thread here because it will make a perfect base for the hackle to wrap on. But before hackle, I'll just add a little bit of UV dubbing here. I'll just unwrap this to preserve some wraps. So, okay. Now if you rotate the vise, you can come closer with your dubbing and actually wrap it more tightly and without damaging that tip part of the dubbing. That's it. Now for this part, I'm gonna use and wrap some hackle here. Just check, maybe I need a tiny little bit of dubbing here. When I say tiny little bit, I mean it. Literally. Okay, that's it. And now I have thorax, that's like hotspot here. Now when it comes to hackle, this is size 14 hook, this is size 14 hackle according to the hackle gauge. And I'll just check it out, and it's kind of okayish, but on the short side in my opinion. I don't like it so short. I prefer longer hackle because I believe it's much better under the water. So this is according to the gauge 10, and I'll use 10. I will discard the thickest part of the rachis. I'll open up the rachis here, and the piece of rachis that goes over the hook first, I will peel off a couple of barbs more. Now counterspin the bobbin holder, I'll catch it near the eye like so, and sideways. The hackle is placed sideways because the rachis is not round, it's kind of ovoid, where the flat side lays directly on the thread, and that's why it's important that you have flat and nice smooth base for it. Now you can tie it by the tip, but this is long enough, so I can tie it like this, and you can pre-fold it, okay, or you can just fold the hackle like so. Both methods are okay. The only advantage in this case for the tying it by the tip is that the rachis is actually thinner, but this is, again, you will see very nice rachis. So try not to overlap, but do the very tight turns. That's one wrap, two wraps, and it already looks nice, I think. Lift it up. Now I will catch it with the thread, fold the rachis. As you can see, my thread goes through them without catching any of them. Let me just see, where am I? Okay. One more. Here 1, 2, 3 until I cut unnecessary piece of feather, and as you can see I'm left with quite a decent piece of feather that will allow me to tie at least one or maybe even two more flies. I will cut these barbs here. I don't want them in my way. Let me see, do I have one more here? I think this step is not so necessary, but it kind of cleans the head. You can peel them off with some tweezers if you want. Now, flat thread covers everything, and when I touch this, I'll just whip finish the fly, and that's it. Now, because my hands are not so nice, I have these frayed parts, I can destroy the thread. That's something I don't want. I will just use my whip finishing tool and do a nice whip finish, going forward with flat thread, creating a nice little thread head, pull back, and that's it. To cut the thread, I don't cut it like this, I pull, lay my blade against it, and I just cut it off. And that's it. Perfect little wet fly. So guys, again, go there, support your local distributor, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, tight lines and stay safe.